So here we go, we're back, and it is race number 8, which we'll be going to Canada for. Let's get some development done for the car. Not doing too bad here, we're just above Aston Martin, and we're not too far away from climbing up the rankings. A couple of new major upgrades for us to go out there, and a couple of major ones to come in, and we'll be hopefully above Alfa Romeo sooner rather than later. Back to the driver standings. Jenson Button in 10th with 17 points, and ourselves on 11th with 10. We're catching Jenson, and a double points finish for the team last weekend. That's not happened since Saudi Arabia. So let's get into the Canada Grand Prix and let's see how we qualified. Hoping for a really good result here. As we ever see the posh paddock club there. Our engineer just giving us the final G up. As in Q1, we came P2 or 111.5. Jenson gets through in 13th. Q2, it's a P8 for us, or 111.7. Unfortunately, Jenson goes out. He finishes 15th. So look at that in Q3. We are P1 for 110.8, an absolute blistering lap. We do love it round Canada, and let's see how we get on in the race.
It's time once again then to go racing here in Montreal, the second largest French-speaking city in the world, and home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Jackson lines up on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Sainz, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Fernando Alonso. Norris, Russell, Ricciardo, and Esteban Ocon.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
So here we go, then it's 18 laps of Canada. We're taking a little bit of fuel out of the car, and it'll be a soft onto medium strategy, one that we favour here as we complete the formation lap. Remember, starting P1 here, so tyre temperature is important, and it's optimal start.
There, mate. Let's make sure.
So here we go then. We get 5 lights. And away we go. Are we a little bit slow from the blocks there? Look like we might have been a little bit bogged down as Charles Leclerc zips on past us. Max Verstappen up the inside. Did Max Verstappen have any intention of braking there? I don't think so. We get a warning for a collision. We went into the side of Leclerc.
Somewhere on the internal combustion engine, be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
So come around the first couple of corners, Verstappen in front of Sainz, who's in front of Charles Leclerc. Look at our engine, we have got some wear, unfortunately, on that. What an opening couple of corners there. Max Verstappen reaping the rewards of slamming into the side of us, almost using us as his brake. So the Ferraris are hotly chasing Max as Max goes side by side with us. Can we compete with this? We're going to throw it down the inside. Well calculated there. A great manoeuvre to take P1 back off Max Verstappen. I don't think that will last too long, to be honest, as Verstappen pulls out to the side. Long straight here. DRS opens up in 2 more laps time, but Max Verstappen gets his move done very easily. Charles Leclerc trying it there down the inside. We have the line though. And we take P2 from Charles Leclerc, who will chase us down in that Ferrari car. Ferrari not having the strongest engine this year. That goes to Mercedes, which we've got in the back of our car. As we come to the hairpin on lap 3 here, Max Verstappen opening that gap up by 2.5 seconds. Charles Leclerc just half a second there going into that hairpin, coming out of it. We seem to just get a little bit of time, but here's where the DRS is powerful. Is Charles going to be close enough? He pulls alongside. He isn't alongside us though. He did have a look, but he just wasn't there. As we take them 2 corners very nicely, the Wall of Champions. across the line here onto lap 4.
By 6.2 seconds.
Verstappen just always keeping that gap at 2.5 seconds. And Charles Leclerc slowly coming closer as we have a dubious track limits call there. Just keeping that one in bounds, swinging it right-handed here. DRS will open up.
It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on.
DRS will open up here for Charles Leclerc. We've been given the hurry up by our engineer to use our electric ERS system, but doesn't seem like we want to use it. We'll be using that to defend against the Ferraris down the straights. We come to the hairpin. Charles Leclerc will pick DRS up down this back straight. It's all signs on Leclerc. So here we go, there's ERS being used down the straight, as we mentioned, just to keep away Charles Leclerc at arm's length. Into the right, left here. A little chicane, probably take... I mean, yet again, there was some interesting track limits on that. We're not being warned from the FIA, so we'll just keep eking away at that. Look at that fastest lap. That's the fastest lap for us. As Charles Leclerc finally gets past. He makes his move, he makes it stick.
Okay, we've lost a position, that's us down a place.
It was expected to lose that place as Charles Leclerc. To be fair, he is in the Ferrari car, higher upgrades. We are doing well though. And it is a track that we favour. We're very strong here. As you can see in P3 there, we pick DRS up on Leclerc, so that negates Sainz's DRS, keeping him at the exact same pace. And Leclerc goes straight on. Leclerc's going to the pits. Leclerc goes into the pits one lap earlier than us. And so did Max Verstappen. I just wonder here, if we put the foot down, can we get in front of Charles Leclerc? Can we get in front of Charles Leclerc here?
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
2.5 second stop time.
Look after these tyres now.
Who are we coming out near? There's Charles Leclerc on the radar. And we've come out in front of Charles Leclerc. And Leclerc's got stuck behind Latifi and Vettel. This has been an absolutely superb pit stop for us. Leclerc must have got held up in traffic. He sat behind Latifi and Vettel. We've pulled the gap to Verstappen by a second as well. He'll start eking that out now. There's a couple more cars in the pit lane. Leclerc wasn't happy waiting. He tries it on the inside. We'll leave him enough room on the inside. We get past him there. This narrow corner is not made for two cars, but two cars going into it. Oh, that was close there. That was close. Both cars come out free of any damage. Great racing, just pushing each other to the limit. Lewis Hamilton behind in fourth, then Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, Fernando Alonso in the other Red Bull, all the way down in seventh. I think Max Verstappen's got plenty gap here to not have to worry about that. Round the hairpin here from Charles Leclerc. Ooh, just had to avoid the wall there around the hairpin. Jenson Button into 13th place, so he's not in the points for the team at the minute, which is quite disappointing. As we take the right, we take the left. Leclerc looks like he's getting closer here. He's side by side, he's alongside, he's past us. Are we going to dive down the inside? We do dive down the inside, we're too far back. Nothing doing there. Look out, we're fast around that hairpin than Charles Leclerc. On lap 12 here. Gone on to lap 13, sorry. We're diving down the inside. We've got it. We've got the place. We've got the place. Charles Leclerc. Oh, is that a bit of Charles Leclerc's wing? That looks like a bit of Charles Leclerc's wing. He definitely give us a tap. As Charles Leclerc passes down the straight. But he's boxing. Box for Leclerc. Box. He must have took too much front wing damage there, trying to overtake us. He's boxed. He's not our threat anymore. Carlos Sainz is the threat. We've got P2 here. P3 to Carlos Sainz is less than 200 seconds. That's a really poor final couple of corners. Albon's out.
Information on Albon for you. Okay, they're out of this race.
Okay, so Albon out of the race. We go deep into that corner. Sainz, oh, we've come across the track there and kind of stopped Sainz's momentum to keep that place. Sainz switches, goes to the inside. We want the inside. Sainz doesn't go across far enough. And we were not happy with that. Bit of wheel banging there. This is fair, tough racing. Sainz just didn't like he wanted to leave any room into that corner. We had to turn in somehow. We couldn't back out of it. X in the hairpin here on lap 18, using all our battery backup that was saved to keep Carlos Sainz behind. Max Verstappen 10.5 seconds in the lead, surely wins a race. There we go. We're going to come home here P2 if we just keep the car in bounds, and we do. It's P2 in Canada. What a race.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, this was a
Podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team. Who moves further ahead at the top of the table? Let's see how the driver standings have changed. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
often